Picture this. It's 1976. A kid walks out the front door at 9 a.m. with nothing but a sandwich in their pocket. No phone, no GPS, no way for anyone to contact them. They return 12 hours later, covered in dirt, with stories their parents will never fully hear. Today, that same scenario would trigger an Amber Alert. But here's what neuroscience is now revealing. That unsupervised, unstructured, and honestly slightly dangerous childhood created cognitive advantages that are almost impossible to replicate today. And if you're someone who lived it, your brain is literally wired differently than someone born in the digital age. Let me show you how. Growing up in the 70s meant facing something that's nearly extinct today: genuine, teeth-grinding boredom. No tablets, no streaming services, no endless scroll. When you complained about being bored, you got a look that said, "That sounds like a you problem." And that mattered more than anyone realized. Modern neuroscience shows that boredom activates the brain's default mode network, the same neural pathway responsible for creativity, self-reflection, and future planning. When children are forced to sit with boredom instead of immediately escaping it, they develop what researchers call generative thinking. They learn to create entertainment from nothing. This is why so many 70s kids became inventors, writers, entrepreneurs, and artists. Your brain learned early that imagination isn't optional, it's survival. Compare that to today, where the average person picks up their phone 96 times per day. The muscle of imagination atrophies when it's never needed. Let's talk about something that would horrify modern parents. You probably did legitimately dangerous things as a kid. Jumping off garage roofs into leaf piles, riding in the back of pickup trucks, building ramps for your bike that definitely violated physics. Playing jarts, those lawn darts that were basically javelins for children. And here's the fascinating part. That physical risk-taking directly shaped your emotional resilience. Research from developmental psychology shows that children who engage in risky play, climbing, roughhousing, exploring without supervision, develop better emotional regulation and lower rates of anxiety disorders later in life. Why? Because your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, learned through real experience what's actually dangerous versus what just feels scary. You calibrated your threat response system through trial and error. A fall from a tree hurt, but you survived. That taught you something no parenting book or safety warning ever could. Most fears are manageable. Modern children, wrapped in bubble wrap and monitored constantly, never get that calibration. Their anxiety has nowhere to go because they never learned the difference between real and perceived danger. Here's something you probably take for granted. You learned how to navigate social conflict without adult intervention. When you had a fight with your friend, there was no parent swooping in to mediate, no teacher facilitating a restorative circle. You had to figure it out yourselves, apologize, compromise, or just move on. Psychologists call this peer-regulated socialization, and it's almost non-existent in modern childhood. Studies show that children who resolve conflicts independently develop stronger negotiation skills, better emotional intelligence, and more authentic relationships as adults. You learned that relationships require work, that not everyone will like you, and that sometimes you just have to get over it. You also experienced something rare: sustained, uninterrupted friendships. You'd spend 6 hours with the same group of kids, working through boredom, conflict, alliances, and reconciliation in real time. That's a social marathon that builds deep interpersonal skills. Today's kids get 45-minute playdates, scheduled and supervised. It's social snacking, enough to taste friendship, but never enough to digest its complexity. Here's a wild thought experiment. Imagine wanting to hear a song and having to wait until the radio played it, or buy the entire album, or record it off the radio and hope the DJ didn't talk over the intro. Your entire childhood was a masterclass in delayed gratification. The Stanford marshmallow experiment famously showed that children who could delay gratification had better life outcomes decades later. But you didn't just delay gratification in a lab, you lived it daily. Want to see photos from your birthday? Wait a week for them to develop. Want to watch your favorite show? Wait until Thursday at 8 p.m. Want to reach your friend? Bike to their house and hope they're home. This trained something psychologists call frustration tolerance, the ability to pursue long-term goals despite short-term discomfort. That's why you can start projects and finish them, while you can commit to things without constant validation. Your brain learned that good things require patience and that instant gratification is often hollow. So, if you're a 70s kid who sometimes feels out of step with the modern world, here's the truth. You're not behind. You're carrying forward something increasingly rare. You have a brain trained in creativity through boredom, resilience through risk, social intelligence through conflict, and patience through necessity. The world changed, but the skills you developed, those don't expire. You're not nostalgic for a better time. You're recognizing that your childhood gave you tools that are harder to build today, tools that still work, still matter, and still give you an edge in a world that's forgotten how to be still, how to wait, and how to figure things out alone. That's not outdated, that's timeless. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments what part of your 70s childhood shaped you most. And if you want more content exploring the psychology behind generational differences, subscribe because we're just scratching the surface.